All right, the fourth thing in the newsletter that I mentioned in terms of our personal growth as leaders, but I think is a translation to how we can help our teams, is to focus on how we're building relationships in the hybrid environment and its impact on our overall organizational vitality. Now, here's the number that blew me away in the data, which is Gallup's recent research that showed nearly $9 trillion in global GDP that is measurably lost due to low engagement in the at a distance phenomenon that we've all taken advantage of. Now, don't misunderstand me. I think at a distance is brilliant. It's clearly what we're doing right here. Every one of my clients has leveraged at a distance to engage more talent in their marketplace, cover more market area, tap into experts who could participate on our staff as marketing experts, technology experts, training experts at a distance. So don't misunderstand. I'm fully into the fact that the world is better off in a hybrid environment than without. It is simply that it has definitely had a bit of a learning curve and a bit of an impact on production, and it behooves us as leaders to double down on maximizing, focusing on it and maximizing it as an opportunity, but then ask ourselves, how is our talent? How are our salespeople and our staff people taking advantage of a hybrid environment? How are they growing from it? So a few quick ideas here that might help. One is get everyone involved, but especially your agents, in developing an intentional rhythm of their in-person involvement at the office. You don't have to mandate people coming back to the office. You can encourage them from creating an intentional rhythm. Are they coming in on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Are they coming in 3 days a week? Are they making sure at the very least they're present beyond the fun and networking events, but when they have opportunities to engage with partners, to engage with clients who might be in the office, and certainly just to engage with their colleagues who are significant sources of co-broking and referral business. In other words, you don't have to change the hybrid environment. You have to simply help people realize the hybrid part of the hybrid environment is the advantages of showing up for certain reasons intentionally at certain times. So this is almost like flipping it on its head. Most people who are struggling with hybrid environment are somehow trying to convince themselves that they have to cancel the hybrid environment. I like to flip it over, and I like to think about, how do I make the hybrid environment a opportunity in the mind of my agents to find growth, to network on purpose? And just like we do our relationship banking, help our agents think about their relationship banking daily. What kind of contacts are they missing out on if they don't show up once or twice or 3 times a week to the office? What kinds of relationship introductions, relationship revivals are they not doing daily if they think it's all done just by text messaging and in their home office, right? So essentially, you're just taking what you do in relationship banking and intentional office environments, and you're getting them to interrupt their patterns, which may have locked them into only one side of the hybrid. In other words, they're not taking advantage of hybrid. You help them. And one way you could do this actually is to limit some of the hybrid techniques that people fall back on as crutches. So if they know that they can just schedule a video meeting with you anytime, you might interrupt that pattern by saying, listen, on Thursdays and Fridays, I'm not doing any video meetings. I'm fully present in the office on Thursdays and Fridays, and I'm there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., whatever that takes. But you interrupt the pattern. Say, listen, I'm not checking my emails after 9 a.m. on Thursdays and Fridays because I need to be fully present in the work environment. So you're interrupting I'm not watching Slack. I'm not keeping an eye on Teams. I'm not going to take an email when you could, at the very least, have stopped by to discuss something of that level of importance. So all I'm talking about here is a little mental jujitsu. You flip it on its head and you say, wow, there are advantages to hybrid, and part of those advantages is actually being in person. And you remind the agents and you empower the agents to take advantage of that as well. Hello, I'm Matthew Ferrara. Thanks for visiting the Leadership Club, a special place for owners, managers, and executives to focus on their growth as leaders in their firms and the industry. You can join TLC as a free subscriber, and you'll get the weekly newsletter and explore a whole bunch of open posts, recordings, and downloads in our free section. And if you like what we're doing here and you're ready for some TLC, then consider upgrading your account to access the masterminds, the coaching calls, and our ongoing training. So if you're ready to take your leadership to the next level, then the Leadership Club is the place for you to do it. Thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to welcoming you to the club.